Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I hope you're having a positive and productive day. I'm Kel with the Planner Isle, and today I'm reviewing the July Deluxe subscription by Infinite Lotus and sharing all the ways you can use what's inside. I'm really excited to see what they've curated for July. June's box was good, but I did miss the summery feel last month, especially with the dashboards. I'm hoping this box will bring more of a seasonal theme that we've seen with previous boxes. Make sure to stick around until the end for my final thoughts, and if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and do all the YouTubey things. I do these detailed reviews every month, so you can decide if this subscription is the right one for you. As always, feel free to leave me a comment below with any questions, and let me know if there's any topics you'd like for me to include in my next video. Without further ado, let's hop in. First, we have our vellum card that details what's in the box. The first two categories are what's included in the classic subscription, and all three are included in the deluxe. Just to note, there is a typo on here. The Desert Marble is a dashboard that we received last month. I believe that should say July monthly. Next, we have a thank you card, the horizontal calendar card for July, and a journaling card that says progress, not perfection. I love the simplicity of these square cards. We get them with every box and order that we place on their website. And then for deluxe subscribers, we have our accessories pack. Each one comes with a monthly intention card, 3 matching journaling cards, 3 smaller photo print cards, and a large date card. Looking at our intention card first, this definitely feels like summer. Usually the background matches the seasonal dashboard, if we get a seasonal dashboard, so you always get a hint of what the color and design style will be for the box. The background is a beach with small waves on the shoreline and a faded blue and tan colorway, and it's a really beautiful background for July. Our intentions this month are drink more water, review my progress, and switch up my routine. 3 great reminders to have, especially now that we're past the halfway mark in the year. I love these cards. They live in the front of my agenda, so it's the first thing that I see when I open my planner for the day. The 3 journaling cards match the colorway perfectly, and you can use these in various places in your agenda for the month of July, or use these throughout the year in your routine or other places you'd use these cards. Similar to the white card from earlier, these are really simple and can work with a number of planning routines, and they play nicely with other colors as well. Then we have our 3 photo cards that match the summer vibe of the intention card. First is a photo of a seashell. This one is a picture of a house by the beach, and this one looks like a view from a hotel or a window looking out over the water. I don't really use these cards, but I do like that they send them. The small size makes them perfect for smaller areas of your planners or wallets where you may want to add some decor. And because we get these every month, you can switch out the photo prints with each month so your planner pockets or wherever you decide to use these feels new. And then the last thing in the pack is the large date card for July. This lives in the back of my main agenda, and I use this to log any upcoming and important events or deadlines for the month. Next, we have 4 dashboards, 2 vellum and 2 cardstock. First is the slow down dashboard. This is a thin, translucent vellum with note to self written in all caps at the top and slow down and enjoy the moment written in cursive in the middle. This is a great example of Infinite Lotus's signature style when it comes to many of the vellum dashboards they offer. They are masters at blending minimalist design with quality material. I've mentioned this before, but their vellum is really sturdy, and the slight hazy tint really gives a nice filter effect to whatever is layered under it. It comes paired with the Palm Shadows dashboard. This is a heavyweight cardstock, and it is dual-sided, so you've got the print of shadows of palm leaves sort of blowing in the wind on the front and the back. So this is a really pretty dashboard. I don't think it's meant to be the seasonal dashboard, but it honestly could be. The palm trees with this sunlight coming through just screams summer to me. It's got this grayish green warm color tone that feels like you're sitting on a beach at sunset, drinking margaritas or something. Maybe I'm reminiscing or manifesting a future vacation, but this is such a beautiful dashboard. I like how the shadows are the feature as opposed to the actual leaves themselves. It feels feels very warm and relaxing, and because the colors are muted, it can blend well with a variety of color schemes. You can pair this with the Slow Down Vellum or use them separately if you want to. It's one of my favorite things about these dashboards. I'm a huge fan of layering in my agenda, especially when it comes to adding decor and depth to the front sections, and Infinite Lotus does a great job sending dashboards that pair well together and with others that you may already have in your collection. Next, we have our monthly vellum dashboard. We do get one of these each month with a different style for us to try out. Similar to the Slow Down Dash, this one is also a translucent vellum material. This is one of their busier layouts in terms of text. You have July abbreviated in bold font across the front, and Chapter 7, July, written in a smaller font as well. I think these dashboards are great for those who use monthly covers. I've heard a lot of great feedback on them. For me, I'm partial towards the simpler layouts like the one we got last month, but even the busier styles like this one don't really look cluttered or anything, and they do still work for those who prefer minimal design, but by comparison, I tend to lean towards the one-line text or those with a centered letter. This one comes paired with the sand and foam dashboard, and this is such a breath of fresh air. Last month, we didn't really get a seasonal dashboard, at least in the way that we have in the past. We got a photo of the Louvre, and it just didn't work for me. This dashboard is exactly what I was picturing and matches the summer theme perfectly. Like I mentioned earlier, the design is the same as the one on the intention card, so you have this bright photo of a beach with water hitting the shoreline, and you can see the sea foam as it hits the sand. The blue is this like muted aqua blue. It's not too bright or flashy, and I like how the shadow of the foam also has a blue tint as well. The colors all blend very well together, and similar to the palm tree shadows, it feels like summer. It feels like a vacation, and it brings that relaxing and calm scene that matches July's intentions so well. I should note that pairing this with the Slow Down dashboard is an absolutely gorgeous duo. I honestly don't know which one I like more, this with the palm trees or this with the beach. They both pair perfectly together, and it gives a photo underlay that matches the intention behind the words, which is a great reminder as we do our mid-year check-ins and get ready to take on new challenges and adventures that the rest of 2025 is sure to bring. But I love all these dashboards so much, especially the two cardstock ones. They can both be interchanged as seasonal dashboards for July, which is great to see, especially because we didn't really have one for June. I will be changing this out in the front of my agenda as I normally do each month. The subtle blues and tans are going to look so pretty opposite the dark brown of the canvas here. I'm also going to switch out my vellum in the front for July as well. We've got a lot of changes happening at work and just a lot going on in general, so I like the idea of seeing this each morning before I start my day. By far one of my top dashboard sets that they've sent. Beautiful, practical, and the perfect set for summer. Next, we have our monthly insert set, which is a favorite month after month for functional planners and one of my favorite features of this subscription. We get 4 inserts to try. This month, our inserts are quad grid notes, water tracker, weekly plan inserts, and yearly overview categories. So starting with the quad grid notes, there's 15 sheets front and back, so 30 pages total. At the top, you have a line to write the topic or subject, and then each page has 4 separate grid quadrants, each with a blank section at the top to write the category or title, depending on what you decide to use this for. So the good thing about spreads like this is that it's got a sort of semi-structured layout, so you have a foundation and direction for use, but it's still open enough that it doesn't restrict you from using it how you want. So for example, because it's split into 4 quadrants, one way you can use this is as an Eisenhower matrix where you break up each quadrant based on the urgency of the task. It's a productivity method that's super popular and one that I used to use a lot and still use quite frequently in many of my projects. Basically, you break your quadrants up into tasks you do first, those you schedule, those you delegate, and those you eliminate, and then each quadrant is completed based on that priority. So your urgent and important tasks will fall under your do first grid. Non-urgent but important tasks would be those that you schedule. Urgent and not important tasks would be those you can delegate, and your non-urgent and non-important tasks would be those you would eliminate. I won't go into too much detail on this method in this video because I'll be here for hours, but it's a great way to prioritize tasks, especially when you have competing priorities. and it's a good way to help manage your time. Another way you can use these is as a scheduling tool and maybe have it supplement your weekly or daily insert. Maybe have one section for work tasks, one for personal, one for events or activities, and then a miscellaneous section that you could use for anything else that would make sense for your routine. You could use this as a goal list or a to-do list, maybe a wish list or a birthday list for members of your family or your team. You can also use it as a brain dump, especially if you find that your mind's scattered a lot or you're working against a lot of deadlines. It can help you keep track of your ideas or questions or focus areas and help you break apart your thoughts a little better. Either way, the variety of ways you can use it is excellent, which makes it a very, very handy insert for me. I'll probably use it in July for work tasks. July starts our new fiscal year, and there's specific tasks that I have to complete before the July 31st deadline. This will help me break apart those tasks, not just by employee, but also by level of importance. So I can't wait to test these out in my main agenda. Great inserts and a nice addition to the July box. Next, we have a water tracker. There's 15 sheets front and back, so 30 pages total. These are super simple. Each page has 2 primary columns. Each column has a blank area at the top, followed by 8 slots numbered 1 to 8 to track each cup of water you drank, and that's for each day of the month, so 31 rows total. So the idea behind this is excellent. I'm a huge fan of habit tracking, and I currently track water in my wellness journal. I do think this is a lot of space for tracking water, which may or may not matter depending on where you house this and how much space you're working with. So for example, if you have a separate wellness planner and you have sections dedicated to separate habit trackers, then this will work great for you. It's very clear and easy to use, and you can track 4 months on one page, so that's 5 months worth of tracking. The spaces are also big enough that you can use a pen, highlighters, dot stickers, or dot markers to mark each box. If you're working with limited space though, you may just not need this much space to track one thing, especially if you're in a larger planner like I am in A5. Comparing this to my current water log, this covers a year and a half on essentially the same size sheet. I do like this though as a habit tracker overall, and if you're not working with limited room, then this will be a win for you. For me, I don't have any plans to use it, but I'm going to keep them just in case my wellness routine changes down the road. Really functional inserts to have, and I love how they sent a water tracker for the box. That's one of the hottest months of the year. Great addition, and a lot of people are going to like this. Next are the weekly plan week on one page inserts. There's 15 sheets front and back, so 30 pages or 30 weeks total. It's broken up into roughly 2 primary columns. On the left-hand side, you have 3 lines to write a statement, affirmation, or whatever else you'd like to. 3 areas with dials to list priorities, 12 lines with dials to write and check off your to-dos, and then 6 lines underneath to write any notes. And then on the right-hand side, you have your weekdays. There's a Monday start with 5 lines for each day. So this is a very packed insert. One-page weeklies tend to be much more condensed, so you can fit a lot of information in a tight space. It's really great for those who have limited space, so maybe you're working with smaller rings or discs, or maybe you have lots of sections in your planner and you're trying not to add bulk. These condensed layouts are really great for those situations. Obviously, you'll be limited in how much detail you can put on each page, but one of the main benefits is the number of months you can include at a time. I'm one of those people who likes having a year's worth of weeklies in my agenda. I'm always referencing things that happen in prior months, so being able to have January in my agenda right now gives me peace of mind if I'm trying to remember details of something that took place earlier in the year. Same thing with future months. I do pre-plan on my monthly inserts, but I also pre-plan on my weeklies, especially for work-related tasks. I've sort of optimized my agenda to be able to have a year's worth in there, but because I use a week on 2-page layout, it's extremely thick and it does take up a lot of space. Condensed layouts like this tend to bridge that gap when you want to house more weeklies while still making the most of your space. I think the main downside of these, and the reason why I don't use one-page weeklies, is the lack of writing space, particularly on the scheduling side. I use my weeklies for work and home tasks, so 5 lines for each day is a bit limiting in that regard, but if you have agendas that are dedicated to a specific area of your life, then these could be a great option for you. I love that Infinite Lotus sends weeklies for us to try. A couple of months ago, they sent a layout that I loved so much that I ended up purchasing them as a special order. It's a great way to play around with different styles and layouts without having to spend money on inserts that may or may not work for you. I likely won't use these, but I feel like they will appeal specifically to those planners who like condensed layouts and those who need to fit a lot of content in a small space. Last are the yearly overview categories. There's 16 sheets front and back, so 32 pages total. And it looks like there's 2 sheets for each of the 8 categories, which are birthdays, anniversaries, holidays and traditions, personal finance, health and wellness, home maintenance, vehicle maintenance, and work and business. Each sheet has the category listed at the top with lined boxes for January through June on the front and July through December on the back. And because there's 2 sheets total, each category covers a 2-year span. So right off the bat, I love everything about these inserts. I love how each category has its own separate page. It's a great way to keep all of your important dates together in the same section while keeping each category separate, so it's easier to flip to the specific sheet you need. That's something that I'm the most excited about with these inserts. Right now, I use my quarterly overview to list a lot of those recurring yearly events that I reference throughout the year. I also flip here when I begin planning for the new month. You can see I do color code each category and I list out the details over here. I've been using this method for years now and it does work well, but what I love about this insert is where my quarterly combines all of these areas together. This insert breaks it out by category, and because it's all formatted the same, it's a great option to use in your yearly overview section, almost like a perpetual calendar in a sense. Because I have more space for each category, I can fit a lot more detail than I currently can here. This can also work well with other scheduling inserts depending on how you use it. For example, if you still like to color code, you can have these in your overview section at the front of your agenda and then take your year at a glance and layer it over this, and then you can match the colors with whatever color you allot for each category. That's also what I plan to do. Right now, everything is blended together, but I'm a big fan of having a section in my overview section to break out the important and recurring areas of my routine with my one pager in front of it. That way, I'm able to see what's happening on a specific day, and then I can flip to that specific page for the detail. It's also an insert that's easy to be repurposed due to its simplicity. If any of these categories don't apply to you, or there are things that you don't track, you can use a page flag or a sticky note or something and cover up the text and make it whatever you want. You could also do the same thing if you wanted to use this for another purpose entirely. You can use it as a spread to list goals for each month, or maybe list certain accomplishments based on habits you're tracking. If you have specific things that you want to accomplish, like reading 2 books a month or journaling more often, you can use this to list those and keep track of your progress. These would also be great for tracking progress on work or specific projects that have monthly deadlines. Maybe there's tasks that have to be completed on a monthly basis. You could use this to write out the detail and check off as you finish each one to make sure everything's complete. No matter what you decide to use this for, it's another super versatile and easy to use insert to have in your routine. I feel like this is the insert I didn't know I needed. Definitely one of my favorite inserts they've sent, and I can't wait to use this. Next, we have a set of small transparent dot stickers in the color aqua. There's 2 sheets with 48 dots on each, so there's 96 stickers total. This is the 4th set of dot stickers they've sent this year. Previously, we got a set in ash gray, blush, and this matcha green color, and now we have this really pretty bright blue to add to the collection. And this is one of my favorite things about this subscription. A lot of things they send match previous items, so it's easy to build a collection and try out different styles, or in this case colors, in your agenda. Dot stickers are one of the top functional planning accessories, and getting these in various colors, it gives you the ability to use them in different areas in your routine, and it's a great way to color code where you want to. The other thing I like about these in particular is the size of the sheets they come on. The smaller sheets make them perfect for carrying in your planner pockets or folders, even if you do have smaller agendas like personal or A6 or even pocket size. You also get quite a few here, so they should last you a pretty long time depending on where and how you use them. I use dot stickers in pretty much every area of my routine, and they're a must-have for me. I have a set of stickers that I purchased last year for my agenda, but these are really nice as well. Once I run out of my current set, I'll definitely look at adding these to my rotation, depending on what additional colors they come out with. So glad they're sending these every now and then. They really make the boxes a lot more cohesive, and it's a great way to build and test your collection to see if the sizes and colors work for you. Next, we have a set of CocoFusion page flags, and similar to the stickers, we also have received a few sets of these in the past, albeit in the standard size. These are mini page flags, so much smaller and compact than the ones they've sent previously. So these are super cute. I love the neutral colorway and that there's two on each case. I've never used page flags that are this tiny, so I'm excited to play around with these because they are so small. I think one way these could be useful is as a calendar block. So maybe use it in your boxes to block off vacation or time off. You could also use them on your monthly or weeklies to mark certain events or tasks that are happening. So for example, if you like to see your bills due on your actual calendar, you can write in the bill with an oil-based pen and use it as a recurring monthly label. The great thing about this specific brand is that the flags come in this case that you can adhere to your page or cover as long as it's not a fabric material, and there's 30 sheets per color, so you have a total of 120 flags, which should last you a while. Page flags like sticky notes are some of my favorite accessories to get in these boxes, and I don't have any flags in my collection that are this tiny, so I'm looking forward to playing around and seeing where these would make the most sense in my routine. I'll definitely keep you all posted on where these end up, but I'd love to hear how y'all use smaller flags like this. Let me know in the comments. Next is the birthday greeting card. You have a white card with happy birthday to you written on the front with a blank inside to write your message, and it comes with a light gray envelope. So not much to talk about here. This is a very clean, very minimal birthday card. You don't have any of the bells and whistles that a lot of cards have. It's simple and to the point, which makes it a great card to send to those relationships that may be more formal in nature. You could send this to maybe a work colleague or someone you don't know as well, and you want to err on the side of caution when it comes to decor, or maybe it's someone you know who appreciates simplicity and isn't a fan of a lot of color in general. This would be a perfect card in those situations. Again, there's not really too much to say on this. It's a nice card, very straightforward, and I'm glad that they popped one of these in here for July. The last item this month is the Maru Liner Dot Marker in the color French Blue. And similar to the dot stickers, we also got one of these in April's box in the color Silky Green. Dot markers are really great to get, especially the mini ones like these. It's a nice alternative to dot stickers if you aren't a fan of stickers, or if you like the cost savings that you get using dot markers. As many of us know, repurchasing stickers can get fairly expensive, especially if you're using them in a lot of areas in your routine. The great thing about this one is that it's half the size of a standard dot marker, so it's easy to throw in a pen pouch or in a work bag. The tip on this is also really firm, which gives you more control over the size of your dot. The color is this sort of pale sky blue color. It's not too bright, but it's not dull either, and it matches the overall colorway for the box. I like this a lot. I use my green one in my journal and my budget planner. I'm not sure where I'll use the blue, but I like that I now have two alternating colors to use. Great addition for this box and a nice addition to your mini dot marker collection. And that wraps up the July Deluxe box by Infinite Lotus. So this box was absolutely fantastic and honestly surpassed my expectations for July. I was a little worried after the dashboards last month that we may not get a seasonal dash this month, but instead we got two, which makes up for the sort of lackluster one for June. It was so hard to pick a favorite item this month. I honestly love so many things. I can't limit it to just one, so it's going to have to be a two-way tie this month between the sand and foam dashboard and the yearly overview category inserts. They're both so perfect in their own ways. The dash is such a vibe for summer, and the yearly category inserts are a perfect way to keep track of all of the important areas of your life in a clean, straightforward way. There wasn't anything I really disliked this month, but if I had to pick a least favorite, for me it would be the week on one page inserts, mainly because they don't work for my routine and how I personally plan. I do think people are going to like this though, depending on how you plan your day to day. All in all, this was by far one of my favorite boxes they've sent. definitely in my top 3. They did such a great job choosing what to send us, and I love that they send items that we can add to our existing accessories, like the stickers and page flags, but the highlight of these boxes are the dashboards and inserts. I feel like that's the bread and butter for a functional planner, and this month they really outdid themselves. Fantastic box, and I'm really looking forward to August. And that is it, you guys. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more planning and organizational content, please hit that like button and subscribe. It helps my channel out a lot. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram for more planner tips and inspo, sending positive vibes your way. Until next time, stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day.